to your life.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Black Love Clubhouse. So excited one to do today. We got like a really cool topic, and everybody is in the building. Rich Roots Prime, and I am excited about today's topic. And of course, I'm your host, Nikki Talks. So
You need to raise the mic.
I am very excited to be here. So today we will be talking about things that can save your marriage or may save your marriage, right?
Yeah,
So go ahead,
this
Richard.
may save your marriage. What are some things? I guess the first question I want to ask is like, what are some things that we don't talk about that could help us in our community?
Mm, mm.
I would say, whew, I don't know. I don't know. I think we don't talk about like actually like communicating respectfully, like things like that. I don't think we discuss those things. I feel like we don't talk about the importance of communicating because we come from a generation that was like, you know, you just keep it all in the house. People argued, but that was it.
I don't know. I think we talk nowadays too much about communicating. It's always, are we effectively communicating? Are we communicating enough? Are we communicating clearly? Are we communicating our emotions? I think we really need to discuss the benefits of being quiet.
Mm.
You
That's
know,
a
go ahead.
that's a good point. I would say this though. I don't. I think we discuss this stuff now, but as far as like growing up in preparation for
Hmm.
marriage, I don't think we were really like taught how um, to communicate. I don't think we were taught like how to argue. You know, for the most part, like in healthy relationships, where the mother and the father is in the home, we don't really even get to see them argue, right?
Right.
Effectively. So if we do see them argue, the example of an argument we may see is toxic. So I don't think we really learn how to argue effectively in front of our kids in a way to teach them. But I think that's a valid point, though. I don't think we. I mean, who says, you know what? Let me teach you how to be silent.
That fix a lot of problems just being quiet.
No, I think we come from a generation of people being too quiet already, not talking about things, which is why we have so many issues with us now.
Mhm.
I think we have to learn how to properly communicate, and that's if we sit up there and be silent, we're gonna still be dealing with the same issues we've been dealing with. Like we're never gonna get past certain things. So
I don't know. I wouldn't have to hear them, and not hearing the issue, and then we can decide whether or not the issue actually exists.
yeah, so silent resentment is a thing.
I mean, true, but I mean, you have silent resentment even while you're talking.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but that means you have to learn how to properly communicate that at the end of the day.
So
Because like you gonna resent it. That's when you resent it because you're not saying anything. You're not saying anything. Nothing can go get better without you saying something.
I think a part of healthy communication is like being silent at times so that you can actually reflect and see if this is even worth talking about.
Exactly.
You,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But I see what Nikki is saying. Nikki is like, which is true. Like we've had so much of us just being quiet throughout our communities that we fail to learn how to actually communicate. So I can see why that could be scary mentioning being silent when well, I would argue that we're too silent. You know, we
Well,
don't express ourselves enough.
so I don't disagree with you, but I guess I would like to say is like, what is it specifically that we're wanting to express? Because I think we're at a time and a place now while, as kind of I mentioned before, we're encouraging people to talk and talk and talk.
Mhm.
But when do we consider whether or not you have something worth saying? When do we consider whether or not what you are saying is adding to the solution? What do we consider is what you're sharing is beneficial to somebody other than making you feel good for saying it?
So
Like, is it helpful?
Give
Is
me
it
an
useful?
example of something that would not be useful. Give me an example.
An example of something that wouldn't be
That
useful.
wouldn't be useful.
If there isn't anything that I can do to fix your situation, you telling me you tired and overwhelmed.
What's wrong
Like,
with
if
that?
you're not, if there's not a solution that I can give you, if this is not a problem you're asking me to fix, what's the point of you communicating that to me? I can see you tired. I can see you overwhelmed. What do you need to communicate that to me for?
Well, so the thing is, maybe someone will communicate if they, because just so it's funny that you don't want people to communicate, but also in the same breath, men will say things like, some men will say things like, "We're not mind readers. You got to communicate." So
Right.
it's like, well, what do you want us to do? You want us to communicate, or you don't want us to communicate? Like, because if somebody you may not realize that they're tired and overwhelmed. Maybe they're telling you, "I'm tired and overwhelmed because I need you to take over at this point." But if they're tired and overwhelmed, you notice they're tired and overwhelmed, and you're like, "Why are you telling me that?" Because you didn't step in to help. So I feel like you have to communicate in those sense.
Well, before you hop in there, I agree with you, but that's why I prefaced it with there's not a solution that you want me to fix. There's not something that it is that you're wanting me to do. You're just wanting to express that to me. That don't really benefit nobody.
How how doesn't that benefit? That benefits one, the person who is tired and overwhelmed. You stepping in, you being able to help them, that benefits them.
So, but then you just offload that to somebody else.
No, you're helping. Like in a
I
relationship, in
think
a
it's
marriage, you're gonna help.
I think it's hard for a woman to be in a position where she say, "I'm frustrated, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed. Um, let me not bring this to my husband because I don't know. Well, I don't feel like there's anything that he can do to help, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she never knows. 'Cause I mean, I can imagine a point in our marriage, and she says, I was frustrated, I was tired. I know you saw, but I didn't want to bring it to you because I felt like there was nothing you can do.
All right.
I feel like I'm robbed of an opportunity, because as men, we're always thinking about how to solve a problem. It's funny, we was talking about that on the show. My wife sent me like a post, like a women's brain and men's brain, and it was just showing the simplicity of a man's brain.
Mm-hmm.
And in a man's brain, he's always trying to figure out how to solve a problem.
100%.
So I think it would be natural for a woman to bring her frustrations to that man, even though. Now it's funny. Before we started the podcast, I was talking about this book called The Three Percenters, right?
Right.
And this guy, with the idea that 3% of men in America are capable of, are in a place where they understand themselves and women,
Okay.
right? So understanding the nature of the woman and understanding the nature of a man puts you in a position where you can appreciate um, the positive things about a woman that looks negative in certain occasions.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, like we may love the emotional side of a woman that's always caring, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes, it could be where she's caring too much about the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
And that could really make us angry.
Right.
But what he's saying is that 3% of a man, that 3% of men, that man will understand. He'll look at that situation and say, well, you know what? This is the thing that I like about her. I need to be patient with her in the process while dealing with this, even though that would really frustrate most men, for a woman to be compassionate for the wrong person at the wrong time. I think it will frustrate most people.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, you could almost consider disloyal to a certain degree, depending upon who the person is or the nature of the relationship.
right. That would escalate real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That escalated really quick. And so, as you mentioned that. So here's the thing: I'm not campaigning for you to never tell me your problems or your grievances. It's not what I'm saying. I'm not. I'm not under the false expectation, tune into the Restreamer Wednesday show about thinking that I'm always going to have a woman who's always happy, always jubilant, and never complains. It's never going to happen. But what I am saying is that it'd be far more effective, I believe, in most relationships if you just made a point to answer the actual question when I say, hey, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Rather than feel like you need to communicate all of your feelings all the time. Because I think whatever you do is a pattern, it's repetitious. And so if you have a habit of venting frustrations and complaining, it is only going to produce more